been carrying this mark on my forehead, you know, they call it the mark of Cain. And if you know the story of Cain and Abel, and one day Cain kills his brother Abel. And it's an act of such horror and such to understand how could you have killed your brother. And leaving a country is like killing your brother, you know, or being forced to leave a country. I actually have a brother, Ravantha, who's autistic, but he used to speak and then he stopped speaking. And I realize now, as life is a process of self-discovery, I'm realizing now that seeing him in trouble as a kid, tortured, abused, and not being able to help has a lot to do with that feeling I have of the mark of Cain that I carry, you see. And that helplessness of not being able to help him when he needed help. So I've carried that idea into various poems, including this one, Marked. I write to all corners of the far-flung universe, yet some critics remind me of the emphasis I place on the birth island and its follies. They ask me why I don't move elsewhere. Surely life is there, and that road of excess which should take me to the palace where I can seduce the princess and settle down with a few hundred servants, but I will not be content with the Lord's life. I'm a worker bee, better yet an engineer supervising, refocusing a river, moving its channel towards new and expectant fields full of maidens, shoots and mewling lambs, but stuck by the force of the river's original impulse to course according to its ancient design that does not depend on man or free will or immigrant desire, no matter what I do or where I write the tale etched on my forehead. So writing that tale etched on my forehead and sort of getting over that tale is part of my own road to Ithaca, you know, my own road to that mythical place where I will be finally at peace. Curtain Call. These are from a book called The Migrant States. And I wrote this book and published it in 2020. It came out during the early days of the pandemic. And it's the migrant states, the United States. In the migrant states, the migrant speaks. And this is the United States I celebrate, the migrant states. No matter what is being shouted in Washington today out of the White House. Curtain Call. When you please, make the reader laugh, lighten the baggage he carries around home, street and office. You reach the first level of enlightenment. Then you pause, consulting the poets along the way. Yeats wrote, "What then?" Kavafi offered that you cannot escape the city in which you were born. Nazim dreamed of a straw blonde, a night train across Europe, poplars falling, in the Turkey from which he remained in exile. Exile is the modern condition. Ceylon felled like a poplar, but how did Java vanish, or British Honduras? I feel a need to inform myself of what is passing down the slide in Belize, around the Richtafel. I need to taste Marmite on my tongue, jellied eels, kippers, mash. But I'm not returning to England this Christmas. The journey longer and deeper, up the coast to Jaffna, where Papa had wanted to go on foot after the stroke, pottering about the house in Colombo, and we held it back. The impossible return. My brother David says one goes awkwardly to meet oneself, and she speaks gibberish back. I do not resist the urge to borrow his line. At this stage of life, individual ambition is a bit silly, like Lear amusing himself with his 100 nights in the home of his dissembling eldest daughters. He learned his lesson, found his reckoning on the moor. I hear myself saying just the gratitude is the rub. I will love you according to my bond, no more, no less. Cordelia spoke truth. My brother too brings Ceylon back on stage. A revival, limited engagement, furnish the set with poplars and palmyras. Let there be peace accords signed every night before a roaring house. Open admission, even dictators may take their seats, but they will not, of course. They will not be allowed to sit in peace. Ghosts will rise from the trapdoor, stride in from stage left and right. The proscenium will break down into theatre in the round, and actors will take charge of fate, if only for the length of the curtain call.